Hey there, Facebook. Hope you're all doing fantastically. Welcome to the live Q&A. Hope everybody is having a fantastic day today. It's been a crazy morning here at Business Warriors headquarters. Well, one of our headquarters in our virtual locations all around the world. Really excited for today's Q&A. We're going to be talking about how to stay motivated and on track, how to achieve more, how to do more, how to be more, how to absolutely smash out any goal that's in your way. And that's specifically what we're talking about today. Thanks everyone for joining in. Welcome Kerry, welcome Serena. I hope you guys are doing well. So today we're talking about how to keep motivated, on track, how to smash through your goals. And this is something I've worked on the last 13 years myself. Actually, sorry, longer than that. This dates back right to my cycling career and how I was managed to achieve goals in my cycling career and how we're like smashing through targets even at Business Warriors right now. And it was never always like this, right? Like I've been a very good sportsman in the past. However, I was never what people call a born talent. I had to work for things and I had to work incredibly hard for things. And that was doing what other people wouldn't do, okay? To give you some examples, and I'll be diving deeper into this today. So like and share the stream so more people can hear this information. We're talking how to get motivated, on track, and smash through your goals with ease, okay? So for a lot of people these days, there's a lot I talk about this before many times. There's two different types of people. There's the people that are gonna do something, right? They're gonna do something, like they're gonna do a live stream. They're gonna get their lead generation sorted. They're gonna grow their business. Then there's the people that do. We speak with a vast aspect of different types of people. Some people that are in startup phase, some people are doing multi-millions of dollars. There's a vast difference between the two. And how everyone keeps themselves motivated is very individualized, because when it comes to smashing through your goals, when it comes to doing more, like we're speaking to a guy who just started a business in January, $1.6 million, insane, right? Turnover. I mean, how are people able to do this sort of stuff? How do they keep themselves motivated? How do they keep themselves on track? How do they smash, not only just get their goals, but smash right through them and continue to move forward? Because, as I said, there's a vast difference between there's the people that are gonna do things, they're gonna get to it eventually, sometime the next 10 years. And then there's the people that just do. There's a vast difference between the two. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about it also comes down to just a honest opinion with yourself, right? Am I a gunner at the moment, or am I a doer? And this is something that everybody's got to self-reflect on. And it's not like you're going to say, the self-awareness is first. So you got to be aware of what you're doing before you can make the change. Because we're talking today about how to keep motivated, how to keep on track, how to smash through your goals, how to achieve every single goals. And let me tell you guys a story. So when I first started in cycling back in 2000, I started as a cyclist. And when I got started, it was because I did a beep test. I did a stretch, see what my flexibility was like, how high I could jump, checked my height, my weight, all these different things. And they went back to their, systems and scientific stuff. The Tasmanian Institute of Sport was back in Tasmania then. And they came back and they said, based on different things about you, your height, your flexibility, all this sort of stuff. They said, number one, you'd be a really good cross-country skier. And I was like, well, I'm in the middle of Tasmania. It snows, but there's not much snow, right? And I looked through and I'm like, there is no way I'm going to be a cross-country skier, right? I looked through it all and I saw cycling there as like, top two. And they said, okay, you'd be a really good cyclist. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, all right, I'll give it a crack. Next thing, they give you a bike. Next thing that they give you, some pedals. Next that actually clip in that you got to kind of twist your feet to get out of, because if you pull up and things like that. And I had several situations as well, by the way, where I just went like this, chunk, still clipped in, crashed onto the ground. Incredibly embarrassing. But when I first started, I was never good at it, right? I was a scrawny little 50-kilo guy, and I wasn't good at cycling when I first started. And I was up one day, I was down the next. I one day was on top of the world doing my training, the next day I couldn't be effed, right? Fucked. And there was I was like this throughout my career for the first early days. I was motivated to do things and I wanted to do things. And, sometimes I was gonna do something and I wouldn't do it. And then other days I would do things. So it was like up and down, up and down, up and down. And the entrepreneurial journey can be very similar for a lot of people. There's two types of people. There's the gunners in the world, then there's the doers. The doers are the people that get the results. The gunners that have, been wanting to do it for a long time, or are gonna do it for a long time, but nothing has transpired as yet. So it's like, hey, Harman, hope you're well. Hey, Veronica, thank you so much for sharing. All for the rest of you that are on board too, just say g'day so I can say g'day back. A warm Aussie g'day it'll be. So further through that, I got to a point where everyone kept telling me that, Jarrod, you can't do this. Jarrod, you're going to be not a good cyclist. Jarrod, there's no way that you are going to succeed in this sport. And looking at a little guy that's like 50 kilos and, about 175 centimeters at the time, right? Tiny dude. And there wasn't probably a lot of hope for me. The one thing that I found along the way in the early stages, right, is I found what motivated me. And this could be similar for a lot of you. Every time someone said I couldn't do something, it pissed me off. It freaking frustrated me to the hilt. And someone would say, Jarrod, you can't do this. Jarrod, you'll never be good at this. I wanted to prove them wrong, okay? So I found out early what frustrated me, and that's what opened up a whole new big group of insights for me, is then when people said that I couldn't do something, I made it my utmost obsession to be able to prove them wrong, right? And, I didn't come from any sort of wealthy upbringing. I didn't come from, I came from what we'd call an average family that, typical Australian Tasmanian family, that we did grow up, that we could do anything still. So it was reasonably a positive household from that perspective. And I made it, that's when I made it that obsession that I wanted to be the best. And it took me from there, it took me 4 years. It took me 4 years. It did. It took me 4 years to be able to get to a point where I was competitive, because I was just this skinny dude. I trained every single day. I went out in the rain. I trained. I went out and I said I was going to win a state title one year, and I won a state title one year. And then that was like the first thing of a F you, And then after that, I was speaking with a coach and a mentor of mine at the, and he said, what you should do is you should write down your goals, right? And like, I've always been the guy that when I write down goals, I wrote them really big. So what did I say? I want to win every single state title for the year, road and track. And I want to win a gold at national level, right? That was my goals. And I went out later that year, and what I did training-wise was I trained in the morning motor pace, right? So you would go out to the middle of nowhere, we'd drive to the middle of nowhere with my coach, and I'd get out on my bike, put the front wheels in, because you take the front wheel out to be able to put it in the back of the car. And I got it out, put the front wheel in, and we started. And what motor pace is you like the car's here, and you motor pace behind the car. So the car, you sit in the slipstream of the car, and the car basically sucks you along. And when the car sucks you along, you can do a lot faster than what you would normally do if you rode just in the wind yourself. So in this motor pacing session, we'd sit on anywhere from between 50k an hour to 80k's an hour, and I'd be riding on a bicycle behind the car. And you'd be spinning it so flat out that you would just, and for me, right, I'm competitive. So now, like, I worked out my second motivator, right? So not only did I knew what my motivational tool was, when I wrote the big goals, I had step number 2, which is like the steps that I've got to take along the way to hit the goal. So I knew that number 1, I had to work harder than everyone else because I wasn't a natural talent. So the morning was, I would do these motor pace sessions, and I'd be doing it at 50 to 80k an hour behind this car. My second motivator was competitiveness. So I was then now competing against something that had a V6 engine and about 120, 130 kilowatts, right? I'm on a freaking bicycle, right? I'm on a freaking bicycle behind a green Toyota Avensis. And some of my motor pacing sessions were always also behind this white Toyota Hiace that was incredibly aerodynamic, because it had so many little rust holes around the whole back end of the car, the sides and the front and the doors. That's how aerodynamic was, that the air would just go straight through these aerodynamic places on it. And it struggled to get to 70, 80k an hour, this thing as well. So that was my session. That was my morning session. And then and I would do, within an hour to an hour and a half, I would do 80 to 130, 140k's in the morning even sometimes. This is just in the morning. And when I did that for a certain period of time, what that done to me was, I would sit on sometimes 50, 60k an hour, and I'd just be sitting there taking it easy behind the car, like easy. And that's how quick, and how strong I got for a certain period of time, that what I would also then do in the evening is, like, sometimes at the end of these sessions, I'm stuffed from the high intensity to a certain level, but I also felt an area of freshness at the end of it as well. So in the evening, then I'd go out and I'd do 70k's in the evening with a bunch of riders, which then involved 10k's worth of like flat out racing, which, when it came to that 10k's worth of flat out racing, and we're talking in the evening where, it's like 6:30 at night, we've got our lights on front and back, we're scooting flat out. And it was just like I would just sit on the front and just drive it, right? And everybody else would just go boom off the back. Like they just couldn't keep up, because I'm doing these motor pacing sessions at like anywhere from 50 to 80k's an hour behind a car every morning, that I've got just that much speed that I'm pulling away from people, right? And it took me months to get to this place, right? And I got to a stage where, like, there was next to no body fat on me. I was the same height I am now, but 58 kilos, right? Right now I'm 98, actually 97 this morning, right, when I weighed myself. So, like, we're talking 20 kilos worth of difference. And I would just literally just ride people off the back. Like, they just could not keep up. I'd just sit there in my biggest gear that I possibly had, and I'd just twiddle it flat out, 10k's, boom. And I would then just get up, like we finished at the top of the hill, which was probably about a 100-meter hill right at the end. And literally we would just take, like, I would take off when I hit the bottom of the hill, same pace, because I'm just used to doing that. And that 1 year, right? So the standpoint was, at the start, I did what people didn't do, which was I did the training in the morning and I went behind a car, and now I was going at a fucking car's pace. That's what I was doing, right? A speed limit car pace. Yeah, like that could speed up faster than me and everything, but when I got up to speed, I could hold it. The second thing is I had the big goal, like the big goal that I said I wanted to win every state championship, road and track, and I wanted to win a gold at nationals. And what I did then was, number one, I had that big goal. Number two, these were the steps in between. I was doing what other people wouldn't do. And I knew what motivated me. Number one, I hated it when people said I couldn't do something, which they said to me for many years when I first started. Hated it to a passion. Like it drove me crazy. Like it drove me into insanity. I got so obsessed with being successful that I had to I had to beat them all, right? I was so obsessed. And the second thing, I knew that I was competitive, right? So when that car would pull away from me, it would actually piss me off. Like I was at points where the car would pull away from me. We're going uphill and I'm doing 70 and I can't spin my bike pedals any faster, that it's pulling away from me and I'm screaming. Like I'm literally going, ah, right? I'm down as low as I can, getting as much slipstream as I can. And it's just pulling away from me and I just literally can't hold it. Then the wind hits me and I go, right? So what I'm getting at here, for those of you today that are really like looking to stay motivated, stay on track and smash through every goal, these are the things that you've got to do. Number one, you've got to have that big goal, right? I tell you what happened that exact same year. That exact same year that I did all that training, I won every road, track, event that whole year. State titles. I won the points races. I won the scratch races. I won the individual pursuits. I won the I won from practically everything that exact year, state title wise, everything. Time trials, road, track, everything. Rode away from people. People just couldn't keep up. There was points where I was doing a couple of races, right? And in these races, I'd get to a hill and I knew exactly how to ride someone off. I would just maintain the speed that I was doing on the flats up a hill, and I would push myself to an end help to get to that. And everybody would just ride off the back. And then I'd do that small little punch over the top of the hill, and that would be gone, race down the other side. Most people stop at the top of the hill, right? So the steps are, I only got a bronze at nationals that year. I didn't get a gold. I got a bronze at the New Zealand nationals representing Australia. So at the end of the day, what's going to happen using this process? If you do fall slightly short, that's okay, but you smash through everything else in your way. So the steps are that I went through that year was, and I've done the exact same thing in business, it's the exact same thing. Number one is I had a big goal. I knew what the target was. The target for cycling was, I will hit every single state title, I'll win every single state title, and I will get a gold medal at national level. Now, I didn't get the gold medal at national level. I represented Australia in New Zealand, and I got a bronze at nationals there. That's fine. I also won many other races throughout the year. So number one is I had the big goal. Number two, I knew what the steps were that I had to do in order to get to the big goal. I knew I had to be faster, so hence the reason why I did the motor pacing, right? Most people would do the motor pacing and that would be it for the day. They wouldn't do anything else. So I went out in the morning and I went out in the evening as well. I did what other people wouldn't do. I did the steps that people would normally do to win nationals, etc. But I did more than that. So like some of my days were looking at the end of the day, 230 odd K in one day, morning and afternoon sessions. So I had the steps there. And number 3 is I actually, when I wrote down those goals, I plastered them everywhere in the house. I knew for me what I had to do is I had to see it. I was visual, and when I look at things, I get motivated by things as well. And I remember all the people because I knew what motivated me, which is number 4, right? Because I knew what motivated me, I knew that every time I looked at my goal, that I was going to think of the idiots that told me that I couldn't do it. And that just drove me even harder. So for all of you right now that are watching this video, these are the steps that you've got to go through to be able to start hitting your goals, turning from, someone that's gonna do something to someone that is a doer that just does things. If right now you are, in honest opinion, a gunner and you're aware of it, that's a good start. It's when we say that, g'day Michael, hope you're well, man. So it's when you're not aware that you're a gunner, when you're not aware that you're a gunner person, that's when you'll always just be a gunner. And unfortunately, some people just go through life that they're gonna do something. I'm sure every single one of you that are watching this live stream right now is going, yeah, I know gunners in my life, people that are gonna do stuff. And you speak to them in 6 months' time and they're still talking about it. You speak to them in 2 years' time and they're still talking about it. Or you might not have seen somebody for 5 years, you come back and you see them and they're still talking about it. And I know people like this. So for those of you that want to stay motivated, right, or I would call more inspired, right? Motivation is very temporary, whereas when you've got inspiration, like I've got now that I've re-engaged, I've been able to re-engage into business. This is when you start getting the different results. So number 1, if you write down your big goal. What is your big goal, right? And your big goal might be 10 years ahead. It might be 5 years ahead. It might be 3 years ahead. A lot of my mentors say you got to have like a 7-year plan. And with your 7-year plan, you break it up into a series of different steps as to what you're going to do over those years. Then you break it down to monthly, quarterly. So it'd be like 6 monthly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, what you got to be doing. And you got various different targets and KPIs that you want to hit in order to do that. Then you just work out what the actions are necessary in order to hit that every day. Okay? So it's, what's the big goal? Break it down into steps. Boom. Know what motivates you, right? Are you motivated by competition? Are you motivated by having more people around you? Are you motivated by telling somebody that you're going to do something, that you will do something? Are you motivated by people telling you that you can't do something? You got to work out what motivates you. Everyone's different. Are you motivated by looking at being able to see what that outcome is that you want, or that goal, what that goal is that you are going to achieve? Are you motivated by that? And if so, that's what you got to work out. What am I motivated by? And then you just want to put it everywhere. Plaster it around the house. Plaster it up on the wall, right? I've got stuff up on my walls. I've got my whiteboard with what we're doing, so I can visually see, right? When I'm in my office, I can visually see what it is that I'm doing, right? And I'm staying focused. I've got team members that hold me accountable as well and motivate me, push me to go to the next level as well. And I do the vice versa as a leader. Okay. we are all leaders. Doesn't matter how big your team is. Everybody's a leader in some way, shape, or form. Everyone falls off the bandwagon from time to time. Everyone loses motivation from time to time. But you've got to know what motivates you, and you've got to see what it is that you're doing in order to achieve the goal. If you guys have ever seen The Secret, there's a section in there. I can't remember the Azaraf, right? I forget his first name. Maybe one of you guys can tell me. I think it's John Azaraf or someone Azaraf. Anyway, I just remember his surname. In The Secret, he actually spoke. There was one particular situation in there that rang bells. What he actually did was he just moved house. If you guys have seen The Secret, maybe you can tell me who he is. John Azaraf, I think it is John. I think it's John. I can't remember his first name. So basically, he just moved house into this new house, and he's setting up his office, right? And his son walks in, and his son points at a box and says, "Hey, Daddy, what's that?" And he turns to his son and he goes, "Well, that's my vision boards. That's all my vision boards." And his son goes, "Yeah, I want to see it." And he pulls out, one of the vision boards, shows his son, looks at it, and he starts bursting into tears. And he, in that moment, just realized that on his vision board, there was this one picture. That one picture was a house, which is the exact house that he just moved into. And he's looking at it going, and it was in that moment that he saw the power of having a vision board. Because he just literally moved into the house that he put a picture thereof several years beforehand. So it's the reticular activating system working behind the scenes that was getting him towards that end goal, which was that house for him. It's what he put on the vision board. It's what he moved into unconsciously. And for every single one of you that are on this live stream that want more motivation, these are the steps that you got to go through today. So if you've got that big goal, what I want you to do is I want you to go through the steps that we've spoken about today. Because every single one of you can operate at a very high, much, much higher level than what you're doing right now. And all it's going to take is for you to just do it, just to slightly pivot what it is that you're doing right now and start focusing on the things that actually matter in your business to be able to grow it. And if you follow exactly what was done today, I've seen the past results as to what this does. And this month, I wrote down targets that we are probably going to hit within the next week and a half, because the power of getting things, following these steps is there. And when I said that one, at the start of that year, when I said I wanted to, in cycling, when I said that I wanted to win every single state title and a national medal, the one thing that I didn't get was that gold medal. But I did get a national medal. It was a bronze one, which, you can't, that's still great. That's an excellent result. That's an exceptional year. And that was the strongest year that I ever had in cycling as a result of the steps, the work, the effort, and I was never a born talent. It was that absolute focus on an end result. It was that absolute focus on, I knew what motivated me. I knew what it was that I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. I knew the steps that I had to take, and I knew that I had to do more than anyone else in order to win. I knew, because I wasn't a natural talent like people throw around these days. Like I had a friend who was an exceptionally fast 100-meter runner, right? And he used to just drill everybody. He used to kill it in school, right? The reason why was because he was 6'3", longer legs. He didn't train, and he would literally just smash all of us in 100 meters. Went over 100 meters, like if it was the 200 meters, he then, because he hadn't trained as much, it was a different story, right? It was more of an even playing field in a 200-meter sprint, right? But 100 meters, he had that short burst that would just go and he would just like dominate. And every single one of you have it in you as well. All you got to do is follow these steps. Like and share the stream. Like and share the stream. At the end of the day, if business is your thing, great. You gotta put all this in place. If it's not your thing, also great. If you want to achieve something in your life, you got to follow this process. I know it because I've done it. And I'm only ever going to share with you stuff that I've done every single day, live. And for a lot of you, right, the reason why you are a gunner at the moment is because you haven't worked on this part of you. You don't know what that intrinsic motivator is. What is that intrinsic motivator? Because that intrinsic motivator in you is exactly what's going to push you through the fear. It's going to push you through the doubt. It's going to push you through anything. There's this threshold that I noticed from cycling. It's a pain threshold. That once you go beyond that threshold, it's not even real anymore. There was a point in cycling I found where I would push myself I would get to a point where I'd just be feeling so much excruciating pain throughout my whole body. I would be breathing heavily. I would be struggling and I would be like, oh, I want to give up. And then as soon as I get through that last little bit, I don't feel it anymore. That's what I realized. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that there is that pain threshold. Once you get through the pain threshold, it doesn't even become real anymore. Like I noticed it when I was motor pacing behind cars, doing 50 to 80 Ks an hour behind a car in a slipstream. I was holding on to dear life to stay into the slipstream of this car, right? That I would be in so much excruciating pain that I knew that if the wind hit me, I was going to go flying backwards, right? So what I realized when I pushed through all of that pain, it wasn't even real. Like you didn't feel it. It's such a strange feeling, and it's a hard thing to really explain until someone's done it. Like once you get through that pain barrier, that struggle, that real pain that's real in the mind, right? Once you get through it, it's not even real. You don't feel it. You just keep going. Like you can actually keep going at that pain threshold for a very, very long time. You might be going at a certain speed right now, and it's really, really painful. And you're like, I've got no energy left. And you just stop. When really what it is you can keep doing that for a very, very, very long time. It's just a mind game. Once you get through that barrier of that pain, it continues. That's one of the biggest things that I got from my sporting career was that pain threshold not even being real. So the pain, the frustration, the challenges, everything, like whatever it is, right? It's not even real. You gotta hold that and push through it. A lot of people talk about all this, manifesting and all this other stuff, right? If you're feeling, like this isn't right at the moment and you're not aligned with it, then it's, not right for you and all this fluffy stuff, right? So people just don't deal with the pain. You got to freaking punch through it, and it becomes not even real. Like it's not real. It's just a made up thing here. That's my experience. That's what I've found. And every single one of you have it in you as well to be able to punch through it. All you got to do is start thinking differently. Is when you feel the pain, move through it. if you like know what it is that motivates you, write your goals down, know what the steps are, make sure you see it everywhere. Knowing what motivates you is then when you look at the goals, it's frustration. It's, like obsession. It's like, this is what I will hit no matter what. Every single one of you can do that. Every single one of you can do that. And you guys can ask questions of me too, right? So like you can hit me with any questions that you guys have around these subjects every single day live. I'm here for you guys, right? This is free. Nobody else offers you this type of value, right? You can register with your name, email, and contact number. I'll sell you my high ticket offer on my webinar at the end after giving you just a taster, right? But if you want the real thing, you can pay $2,000 for it. You guys know all the tricks. You guys know it all. So every single day, 12 o'clock live here on the page, actionable things that you guys can implement. Like and share the stream. You can do all of this every single day. You can implement, you can do the work, you can ask questions, you can interact, you can network on my live streams, right? You can meet more people through the live streams. Your network is your net worth. You know all of this, right? I'm preaching to the choir here. You guys know all of this. All you got to do is interact, ask questions. The people that engage the most are the people that get the most from it. The people that ask questions, the only stupid question is the question that's not asked, because you're going to be still walking away after this with the exact same question in your mind. And a lot of the time, all we are doing is over-complicating and overthinking things. Stop overcomplicating things. Deal with the pain, move through it. Take action, right? Don't complain. Don't be a little bitch, right? Do the work. Follow the steps today. Re-listen to this a few times. Stick it in your ear every morning. This one live stream. Save this one live stream. Listen to it every single day. And probably especially the last, however long that's been, where I've just been ranting at you guys, okay? I'm ranting at you guys because I believe in every single one of you that you're not going to be a gunner, you will be a doer. Be a doer. Doers do things. Two types of people on social media. There's the consumers, right? Of everything. They consume. They go to 10 different pages. They learn, 10 different things and thought patterns from 10 different pages or 50 different pages. And they walk away and they continue consuming and they never do any work. They're the gunners. Then there's the other side, which is the people that physically do it. They are the producers on social media, the producers of content, the producers of results, the doers, not the gunners. And if you're a gunner right now, have that honest feedback with yourself and that honest chat. You don't have to put it in the comments or anything like that if you're a gunner. And we're not going to tear your shreds off you for being a gunner, right? It's a learning lesson. Honest opinion with yourself. Am I being a gunner right now? Am I being a consumer of 10 million different pages? Am I jumping on every single webinar around the internet looking for a magic pill or a unicorn where things are going to be manifested my way and all of a sudden I'll start getting results doing nothing? Hard truth, doers, and producers are the people that will get the results. The doers always get the results. The people that go through this process, they don't just say, I've got this big goal and I don't know what I'm going to do about it, but I got this big goal. They go through the rest of the process. They implement it. They are a doer. They're a producer. They are someone that takes no prisoners. That's what it is. And I tell you what, right, I sat down with a mentor many years ago, right? It was after my cycling career when I moved across here into Perth. I sat down with a guy who was a property guru, multi-millionaire, and I said to him, I want to open my own finance brokerage and I want to earn $10 million a year, and I want to basically grow that over the next 5 years, and that's what I will do, I said to him. He said, good luck, and he walked out. I was one of those people once. Yep. Not anymore. Gone through this process. I ain't going back. There's only one way. I'm going through walls, punching through glass, cars, anything. That's why we're doing lives every day for you guys. Follow the page. See everything first, up the top or in this video. See everything first. Shut off everybody else, all the noise. Just get on this stream, go through every video on the page. Join the 300 Mastermind, free for 3 days, and then it's $1 a day. Like, nobody's doing that on the whole internet. Every marketing system I use that you see, all my emails, my copywriting techniques, everything, people used to pay, $7,000 minimum, right through to $60,000 if they want us to do things for them. And all we're doing is upping these prices too, by the way. The longer I'm in business, the more developed I am as somebody as well. And then the more I put up the prices, because I want to, better myself. I want to be more valuable to people. $1 a day though, and you can get access to all of my systems, everything. Everybody else is not giving you free content every single day. You guys have a lot you can use just straight from this page. Free, no opt-in. I ain't asking for anything. I ain't even getting paid for this live stream, right? Why, you may ask? This is too good to be true. Well, it's because I used to be a gunner. I used to be someone who struggled in these areas. I used to be someone who had a big ego. I used to be somebody who thought that I was the best. I was king shit, right? And that's the reasons why I always struggled. And then I would jump on webinars, webinar to webinar to webinar, program to program to program, expect a different result, not get a different result, and then blame everybody else around me. Not directly or anything, in my mind. Then I had a switch go on. How did all of this work when I was a cyclist? Why was I so successful as a cyclist? Why was I so successful in my sales career and my business doesn't do the same, right? It's because of all of this. All of these steps that I'm talking to you guys about today. Don't do what Jarrod does or did in the past. Don't even do what I'm doing now, what I'm saying, right? Don't even do what I say, just do what I do. Expect a different result from yourself. Go and do a better result yourself. Push yourself to the nth degree to be able to make something happen. Know what motivates you. Are the naysayers a motivation to you? And if they're not, make it. Make the haters hate more and use that as fuel for the fire. That was one of the best things I got from my mum growing up. All the naysayers, use it as fuel for the fire. The fuel for the fire to push yourself to a next level. The pain barrier, I realized from cycling, isn't even real. You get through it and it's gone. It is no more. You can push it. When you feel the pain, you can go 100 times over that. That's just what a lot of people don't realize. You can go 100 times over the pain barrier. And then you don't even feel the pain barrier anymore. It's not even real. Not even real at all. I want you guys to remember this one thing. Like and share the stream. If you do not fight for your own freedom, absolutely nobody else will. Every single day you must get out there, you must take action, and you must make it happen. And remember, I'm here to ask questions for you guys every single day. I see here, Michael, thanks so much for that, man. I've always struggled with embracing my confidence because of fear of becoming arrogant. And I hate those prats. I don't give a fuck about what others think. Never have. But how do you overcome without thinking you'll come across as arrogant? For starters, you just don't think of yourself as arrogant. All comes with empathy. You got to be empathetic, right? You can know you're good at something, know you're good, and you can have the utmost confidence that you're really good at something, right? But if you're worried about like becoming arrogant, you got to completely take that out of the vocabulary and just have empathy. So you can say to someone, look, I've been doing this for a long time and I am really good at it. And I understand exactly where you are coming from though as well, and it has been hard for you until today. Because I used to be the same. That's empathy. You gotta have empathy for people's situations, right? You can know you're good at something and have utmost confidence in something, right? But you gotta have the empathy there with it as well. You gotta be empathetic of people's situations. You can't just like go out and just start tooting your horn, right? Without being empathetic of people's situations. So it's okay to say to people you're good at something, like you're really exceptionally good at something. It's okay to say that to people. All you got to do is just have empathy. Empathy is one of the best skills that you're ever going to have, ever, right? And you use empathy through sales. You use empathy through every client dealing that you ever have. You use empathy on live streams, right? Notice today I've told you the struggles that I've had. I told you I've been a gunner before. I've told you, I've been the guy that's gone from one event to an event to an event, information overload, go to different places, not do any work, that type of stuff. I've done all of that in the past, right? I've been half-assed at things, It's taken, time for me to move myself through that. And I would have done it a lot quicker if I just followed what I did in my cycling career, right? The blueprint, just transfer it across. Chung, chung, the blueprint. You just transfer it into different stages. So be empathetic. Be empathetic. So take arrogant, put it in a box to the side, kick it out the door, and be empathetic. Pretty much answered it also without thinking, so stop thinking. Always come across how you want to with the utmost respect, with full love. 100%. Hit the nail on the head there. So, some people are going to say bad things about you. They will. You won't vibe with everyone. And you can say, I don't give a fuck about what they think, or you can just say, cool, they're allowed to have their own opinion. And just be empathetic of their situation. That's all it is. Be empathetic, understand that people are doing the best they can with the tools and resources that they have available, right? Understand that is, where they're at, and that's okay. Everything, language is everything, right? So it's like knowing that everybody does the best that they possibly can with the resources that they have available to them at the time. Everyone does the best. Whether we like what they do, whether we don't like what they do, they're still doing the best that they can with the resources that they've got available. It's like saying, John Smith killed 3 people in a massacre, right? It is not right for him to do that. Yes, it isn't right for him to do that. And to say that I would never do it in his situation would be not the right thing to say. It would be that, you know, if you were presented with the same challenges that he had throughout his whole life and you lived his life, you would probably be doing the same thing. Because there's a certain amount of things that he had and things that he learnt, things that were okay, things that he adopted throughout his life that brought him to that particular outcome, right? And who knows, if we went through the same thing, right? We went through the same thing throughout our whole life, we probably would have done the same thing, right? We may have, right? If we did the same, had the same challenges and the same things and the same problems and everything throughout his life, right? We'd be silly to say that we would not do it in his situation because we don't know what his situation's like. And business is like, when it comes to business, it's about being empathetic of people's situations, understanding that people are doing the best with the resources that they have available, that to an element, then it's about believing in people as well, and knowing that people can change, knowing people can do things better, knowing people can become better. And then it's about us taking actions to become better every day as well. We can make ourselves better, then everything else becomes simpler. Not easy, just simple. Straightforward. Simple, straightforward. That's what it is. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone, today. Really appreciate it. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, type value behind. Make sure that you like and share the stream, and also make sure that you do follow the page up front. Make sure you're seeing everything first as well. Like and share the stream. Remember, if you don't fight for your own freedom, absolutely nobody else will. So get out there. So every single day, you must get out there, take action, make it happen. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 12 o'clock Perth, Western Australia time, for the next live show. Speak to you then. Ciao. Be the warrior.